It's the big one for the babies. $5 million up for grabs in this Golden Slipper, Cam.
It's exciting, Hamo, and of course, when it comes to the track condition, the way this course plays out, it is a perfect start for the 2-year-olds.
We're just hoping the rain that's forecast doesn't come too much. Soft 7, we don't want it getting worse than that. Even though a lot of these babies have raced on the heavy track, I'm going to point out a few of the key barrier draws here. She's Extreme.
Great.
Draws beautifully. Comes in 2 because we've got the emergencies, 4 of them in this barrier draw. Next door, you've got Sir Jardin, just a winner, this horse. And then a very similar draw out there in 14, but we'll come into 11 for Coolangatta. Similar draw to what she won from in the Magic Millions.
Which, remarkably, is the last time we've seen Coolangatta race. And people will be like, oh, geez, you can't win a Golden Slipper.
Middle of January.
Yeah, you know what? I have not one concern in the world, Hamo, because Mara and Eustace are freaks. They've proved it with High Totso. They prove it with stayers each and every year when it gets to the Melbourne Cup. So I have no concern. So ask me any question you want.
Sir Jardin,
Back.
She's Extreme.
Run of the race.
Coolangatta.
Star. That's exactly how we'll go. So let's look at this. Coolangatta comes in a little bit with those emergencies once they come out, but there's pace on her outside that'll go forward. Best of Bordeaux from the inside will go forward. We've got, of course, Queen of the Ball. We've got Rise of the Masses and Lady Laguna who will come across. And I think J-Mac will be able to use them as a guide and be able to slide over. Again, you don't want to be 3 wide, no cover. That kind of is fairly self-explanatory, but with a little bit of speed coming from the outside, it'll mean the horses on the inside won't want to get stuck in and get in a bit of the muck. So I think can get a nice spot, almost an identical race, almost an identical run to what happened in the Magic Millions. But this is the danger. She's Extreme. Was brilliant last week, now has an opportunity of Brett Preble to draw and has drawn the perfect gate and get the perfect run in transit. So I think She's Extreme will have probably a more efficient run, even though I think Coolangatta's a better horse. So Jardin's going to go all the way back, and not dissimilar to, say, an Artorias or a Mars Crusader. I'm not saying that he's at that level yet, but you need a little bit of luck if you're going to go back and try and weave through as a 2-year-old. You get a bump and they're a bit green. So I'd much prefer to be a Coolangatta right now or a She's Extreme than a Sir Jardin, which I'm assuming when we get to your tips, you're going to dive in. But what's the market telling us?
The punters can't work out the race. They're wary of this lack of recent racing for Coolangatta in one of the most open Golden Slippers of the recent era. Out to $4.80. Sir Jardin, little easy as well. Now, She's Extreme, $12 pre-draw, now into $8.50, and a little nibble at odds for Jacquinot, and also even Revolutionary Miss has had a bit of support at big odds.
The gate's the concern with the miss, but let's get to this. Coolangatta, she's the best horse in the race. I know the issue about how long she hasn't raced for, but Mara and Eustace, they're freaks. Queen of the Ball, I don't want to get into politics, but she was great last week in the Black Opal, and I think she'll be on pace, which I think will suit the race. Coolangatta, you know what? I'm going to 4, Hamo. I'm fairly confident the best horse in the race is going to win the Golden Slipper. What do you think?
I love this Gary Portelli story, and I'm going to go Sir Jardin. He's got a couple of runners, but this guy is just a winner. Handles any surface and will be really, really strong late. I'm with you. Each way, I'm going to go for a 4. Can Coolangatta do it? Can she complete the Magic Millions Golden Slipper double? Leave it in the comments below. Now to this Group 1 Rosehill Guineas. Small field, Camp, but don't let that fool you. I think this is one of the highlights of the autumn so far.
I like to disagree with you, Hamo, but I can't on this particular occasion. And the shoot, the 2,000-metre start, gives every horse an opportunity to find their spot.
Yeah, good 450-metre run or so to the first turn. So the draws shouldn't matter too much. We're going to get straight into the settle grid here because Anamoe starts from the outside. Just inside of it is Converge. And then a couple further in is Profondo, who has got all of those question marks after that filthy Australian Guineas run.
Filthy, I wasn't huge on it. Filthy's the right way to describe the actual way it got, I guess, the race set up for it. But they gave the old jockey that flick and brought a new jock in.
And he never looked comfortable at Flemington in his
He
defence. Gets back to the Sydney way of going.
Yep.
But where do they settle?
Well, look, let's start with an easy one. Converge will go forward. I said a couple of weeks ago in the Ladbrokes Lab that Converge had to beat in front of Anamoe. He was, and he beat him. He's going to try and have to do that again. Profondo, likewise, will go forward. No doubt going to be a lot more comfortable than a couple of weeks ago in the Australian Guineas. 1 gets a gate, 2 smaller field, and 3 gets back to the Sydney way of going. And Anamoe, slow out of the gates is probably a little bit too dramatic. He's no real fast when he nearly won a Cox Plate, in fact, protest, probably should have went his way. To be fair, he was back. So he's going to be back in the field. I don't think he'll be behind Forgot You. I think he'll just chew here, have a little bit of chat to a couple of these horses who probably can't win the race. But
he's got to get going though, doesn't he? He's got to make it a true 2,000.
But this is a 2,000 metre race compared to that mile where you really need to maybe go and have everything go your own way, which hasn't quite happened yet. In saying that, he's only just got beaten in a couple of really good races to really good horses. So Anamoe for me, no doubt, not an issue. Will be back, but Converge and Profondo will be in front of it, no doubt.
He's been a little bit easy, Anamoe. You can see $1.95 out to $2. My question to you is, though, do we get much better than the $2?
I hope so. I really hope so. With the heavy track, which I think we might get, it depends on the rain as we head towards the actual race. If it gets into it, I don't want to take odds on. So if you get to the 210 or 220, I think it's a most certainly bet.
Big question over Profondo, as we know. Forgot You, little nibble, $9.50 into $9. Tip time.
Well, it's funny you say that because my money and Forget You. But no, look, Anamoe's the best horse in the race. I think the 2,000 metres suits it. I think it'll win. As I said, if it gets to 210 or 220 on Ladbrokes, I'm more likely to have a bet on it. Forgot You, another horse who's going to enjoy the 2,000 metres. The conditions won't be concerned. I think the race might set up nicely. And you know what? They'll both run top three, so I'm going 5 out of 5, Hamo. I'm going bang!
I love the confidence. I'm really, really bullish on Anamoe here. Now, he has been iffy at times this campaign, but I think he's looked more like a 2,000 metre horse this time in work. He gets the 2,000. This is his time to make a statement. Not quite a 5.
Oh, come on, Hamo. Go one step further.
I'll go a 4.5.
You can't say the word bullish and then give a 4 out of 5.
Oh, well, it's a tricky race. Profondo could bounce back, but still, I'm with him. Do you think that Anamoe is the best 3-year-old in the country? Leave it in the comments below.